Revs coming up. We're green.
Big move coming off the 3.
2, 3, 4 abreast in some spots.
Side-by-side action.
He absolutely nailed it.
Three-way battle.
And we've got an incident. You would expect nothing less.
Oh, clips the inside apex.
Very racy. This is going to get interesting.
That is a brave move. What a path. This is what World Challenge is all about.
Welcome to Mid-Ohio's sports car course, one of the classic road courses in North America. Welcome, my name is Jeremy Shaw. I'll be joined momentarily by Jeff Lepper. We're proud to bring you round 11 of the Pirelli World Challenge Championship, the GT and GTS classes, along with the GTA competitors, the non-professionals in the GT ranks, taking part in an hour-long race. We brought forward the schedule just a little bit for this race because there's a huge dark cloud that is building ominously to the southwest, and it's heading kind of this direction, so we're trying to get at least as much of the race we can in as possible in the drive. We've got a huge field on hand here, over 50 cars, and with 10 manufacturers in the GT ranks and 9 in GTS. This is just a manufacturer marketplace unlike any other, pretty much anywhere in the world, certainly here in North America, and we've got a great race on hand for us this morning. So it's not really 11:45 in the morning, but this is just a great racetrack here. We've seen over the years, we've seen some fantastic competition here. There's certainly going to be more of that in this race this afternoon. We're going to get down to Jeff perhaps for the grid, but let's just run, I think, up the starting order as quickly as we can. We'll start at the tail end of the field. 52nd place, Jay Mattis in car number 71. That's the VIP Fools Porsche 996. Alongside him on the 26th row of the grid is Scott Bove driving the number 55 Ford Boss Mustang as a charity organisation this weekend, raising funds and awareness for this Special Operation Warrior Foundation, which is a tremendous organisation. On row 25 of the grid, on the outside, Ray Mason from Columbus, Ohio in the Subaru WRX STI. Alongside him on the inside, Buzz McCall in the Reset MD Porsche Cayman S. And beside him on the row ahead of him, Robert Stout in car number 86, the Scion FRS making its return to the championship after several races away. Alongside him on the inside of that road, Jeff Reeves in car number 40, the Shadowworks Best IT Chevrolet Camaro. 46th on the grid, Larry Funk, another local driver from Oberlin, Ohio, making a relatively rare start in the Pirelli World Challenge in his business advisory services BMW M3. 45th on the grid, Rick Boucher from Virginia Beach, Virginia, in the Nissan Motul Glycan Nissan 370Z, and he's had some problems with that car this weekend. We finally got the car working this morning, but he's missing on track time here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course compared to everybody else. 44th on the grid, Jorge de la Torre, car number 04, one of the TRG AMR Aston Martin GT4s. Alongside him, Brad Adams, number 96, the Voodoo Music, Dat Dog Yo MTV Raps Ford Mustang Boss 302S. 42nd on the grid, Craig Capaldi, car number 68, the Wolverine Bronze Capital R Ford Mustang Boss 302S. And Brian Kleeman, car number 07, the Nissan DXD Clutches Nissan 370Z. 40th on the grid, Mark Clennin in the Aston Martin GT4 car number 62, and car number 30, Landry from Lake Charles, Louisiana, in the Versa Crane Deep South Ford Mustang 302S. He's had some very good runs of late. He will start 14th in the GTS category this morning. 38th on the grid overall, Nick Kasayan from San Diego, California, in the Aston Martin GT4, the natural pure entry. Inside him, in the 37th overall, BJ Zacharias making his great debut this weekend in Pirelli World Challenge. We are lined up on the grid. Jeff Lepper's with us on the front row of the grid. Jeff, we have Mike Skeen on the pole and Alex Figge alongside.
Oliver Green and Figge box to start in that McLaren. Mike Skeen, great start. And look at Ryan Dial around the outside with the green. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for opening the show, and welcome to World Challenge, Pirelli World Challenge, round number 11.
Didn't realise we were getting that quickly. I must admit, what a great start it was. My Mike Skeen, a great run this morning to put that Hawk Performance Audi R8 Ultra on the pole position. Made a perfect start as well, but all sorts of interesting cars in this field. Look at the Cadillac there, up from 6th on the grid already, challenging for second place down the back straightaway. And then it's Ryan Dial alongside him in that car number 31, the Effort Racing Porsche.
Yeah, Johnny O'Connell down to the inside. That Cadillac comes in a lot quicker. You see the Bentley there is Andrew Palmer. Johnny O'Connell into second, down into turn number 3. The Bentley gets around Palmer. Andy Pilgrim to the outside of the Bentley takes that position back over that number 8 Cadillac.
So a tremendous early start. There is one of the many GMG Audi R8 Ultras, and the second Cadillac there of Andy Pilgrim, who's a mile down the pack a bit. He started in 9th place, and that is the battle, I think, for 8th and 9th. Because you can see the first three, Mike Skeen not getting away here. And what a great start that was from Johnny O'Connell. Started 7th on the grid, already up into 2nd place.
Yeah, the heartbreaker there was Alex Figge and that McLaren. The team rebuilt that car literally in about a month. 360 components from his bad crashes. Marcelo Hahn spins on the exit of turn number 9 down the hill. Got to be careful here. Big side there, 4 ways. Oh, and Rick Boucher gets hit by Buzz McCall. Bounces over there as now he's backwards into the wall. Robert Stout hard into the concrete. You see damage from Rick Boucher there from that jump when he hit Buzz McCall's car. Oh,
what a shame for those two. It was just a big, with so many cars on the track and somebody spinning in the middle of the road there. It's a blind brow came over the top of that hill. There's another spin. That's Henry Hedman, who is the GTA points leader coming into this weekend.
Yeah, was leading in the GTA category. You see Lawson Aschenbach, that Camaro got a good run. Andy Lee in 2nd, Dean Martin in 3rd, and it looks like Alec Udell back there in 4th, going back to our GTS category. But the battle's on for the lead in GT as Ryan Dial looking around a way to get by Johnny O'Connell as we go full course yellow.
Yeah, so it's still Mike Skeen who leads in that Hawk Performance CRP Racing Audi. In 2nd place, Johnny O'Connell, the championship leader and 2-time defending series champion in the Pirelli World Challenge. That's Marcelo Hahn, who's been super fast this season in that Lamborghini, but he's had all sorts of dramas as well, Jeff.
Yeah, looks like he's got problems there on that left rear. Looks like he had a flat tire. Brad Adams down on pit lane, and the Dat Dog Yo MTV Raps voodoo music as we got a replay here of Marcelo Hahn coming through. You'll see the GTS cars trying to split this. Craig Capaldi, Rob Stout goes off in the dirt, going to go across the front, and there's that bump from Rick Boucher that hurt his right rear suspension, and he had nowhere to go once he turned around, and you see the damage there. Stays off the wall though. Good run from Rick Boucher.
Yeah, I think it broke the right rear suspension on that Nissan. What a shame for him. He's problems there also.
Yeah,
broken suspension.
Rob Stout hit the wall, that number 86, as he returns to the series.
Yeah, he just ducked over there on the inside, didn't he? Got on the grass and lost control over the grass. So.
Mitch Landry having problems, the right front suspension on his Mustang, the Versacrane Deep South Motorsports Development Group, and there's Craig Capaldi. Heartbreak there. That looks like a huge shunt that Craig did. The right side of that car torn up. We got carnage all over this course.
That's a separate incident, isn't it? Mitch Landry, wasn't he at Revelation last time out in Toronto? 2 tremendous runs there, including a career best 6th place finish.
Yeah, ran 6th place there behind his teammate Alec Udell, who finished 2nd, so great run for that entire Motorsports Development Group there. Robert Stout made it back to pit lane. Car's overheating. You see the water shooting out of the overflow on the top of that car. Just a heartbreak there. This car was a TRD supercharged car, went back to a turbocharged system now, and basically made every session in that car. Sad to see him out this early.
Yeah, they had problems in the early part of the season, and they were really hoping for a good, strong run this weekend. It was a good stout start by Robert Stout there, but unfortunately, it comes to an early end.
We'll also let everybody that got a bad start kind of catch back up a little bit, because we do rolling restarts instead of a standing start. But it is, once again, Mike Skeen, Johnny O'Connell, Ryan Dial, Alex Figge, Anthony Lazzaro, Andrew Palmer, Andy Pilgrim, Butch Lightsinger, and James Sofronis, your top 10. So
we've got just tremendous battles. There will be all the way up and down this pack. 19 different manufacturers, 10 of them in GT, 9 in GTS. And the races are wide open. A brand new, we can just see the car coming through the screen there, past the accident scene on the left-hand side of the screen, just going out of the picture. The brand new Acura there of TSX of Peter Cunningham, the most experienced driver in Pirelli World Challenge history. The car they planned originally to make that debut at Detroit earlier in the season. Unfortunately, in its shakedown test, they had a major fire and it burned particularly the wiring loom on that car. He didn't have a spare wiring loom. That's why it's taken this long to get that car back out on the track again. Even then, they've only had time for one brief test at Road America. It was actually on Thursday, just a couple of days ago. Brought the car here, so very, very low on development time in Acura, but it's a very exciting program.
Yeah, to see that new TLX come over there, not only is that just a brilliant piece of engineering, that thing is just a complete work of art. I've seen components on the space shuttle that aren't as sophisticated as it is on that Acura. It's great to see. I saw Craig Capaldi moving out of that Wolverine bronzing Ford Mustang from Capaldi Racing. Good to see him moving in there and getting out there. Just had the door jammed a little bit there. We'll get him out. But, you know, Wolverine bronzing, supporting on that car, that low-pressure casting. And there is Craig Capaldi crawling out, one of my good personal friends. Glad to see that he's okay. And looks like no harm, no foul, except for the damage to the car. But appreciate Capaldi Racing. Craig Capaldi left rear down on Marcelo Hahn's car. And, of course, check all that out. Go to CapaldiRacing.com for those guys and support that team. Get them out here as we got 3 cars from Capaldi Racing here this weekend. We just saw a glimpse of that number 55 from Scott Bove, the president and CEO of the Pirelli World Challenge, supporting the Special Operations Warrior Foundation for charity. Every position that Scott picks up here this weekend, as well as young Austin Cindric, and I'm sure you have more information on that for us, Jeremy, but you can make a flat donation at world-challenge.com/donate. To donate money now, you can do it on a flat rate, or you can do it by, I'm going to give $25 for every car you pass, and that goes directly to the Special Operations Warrior Foundation, and it's all supported by Capaldi Racing, prepping that car. Brad Adams, that's his spare car, so we really appreciate everything that Capaldi Racing, Ford Racing, Wolverine Bronze does to help support this charity.
Yeah, and it's good. The sport in general gives a lot back to charities up and down in different charities around the world, in different racing series as well. Always good to be giving back from the sport.
A lot of special partners that make Pirelli World Challenge part of this, and the best standing start, starting shotgun on the field, 26th in GTS, 50th overall. That's going to go to Jay Mattis from Houston, Texas, in the VP Fuels Porsche 996. So once again, our Optima Batteries best standing start, picking up 7 positions. Jay Mattis in that Porsche 996, making his Pirelli World Challenge debut here in the 2014 season.
It is indeed from the TX Speed Porsche. VP Fuels on the entrance of that car, but what a good to see him. He didn't get a qualifying run in this morning. I don't know why, but he's already beginning to work his way through the field.
I want to give everybody a reminder, too, about our expanded coverage that you'll see on NBC Sportsnet, so NBC SN, for the Mid-Ohio Sports Car course, as well as the Toronto rounds will play August 10th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. There's a good shot of Mitch Landry, but we got the in-car cameras coverage from there, the Kia Quad Box, and those are all provided by GoPro Hero 3 cameras. Now's your chance as a fan to win one of those GoPro Hero 3 cameras. Grab your phone and text the word Ohio to 313131 to win your free GoPro Hero camera. Once again, that's Ohio to 313131 for your chance to win. Here, this weekend, we're giving a camera away every race all season long. We've given away, I believe, 7 winners already this time. Got brand new cameras, about a $499 value for that GoPro Hero 3. Pretty cool deal.
Yeah, they are fantastic cameras. The quality of the in-car footage we get these days is just phenomenal.
See Craig Capaldi's car getting back up on that rollback there, and they'll get that car cleared off. Great safety crew here from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. They're able to get cleanups done. We had an incident in qualifying with the water hose coming off of Ray Mason's WRX local from Columbus, Ohio, in the Columbus truck. Toge Tuning WRX from Compass 360 Racing. That safety crews came out, got that cleaned up really instantly, and we were able to not miss a beat when we skipped over to the GT qualifying.
Good to see Ray back out in that car. He's hasn't started a World Challenge race in quite a long time. There's 18 previous starts in the series, made his debut back in the 11, but his first race of the season, I think, isn't it, this one in that Subaru. Good to see that car here in the Pirelli World Challenge. Yet another manufacturer being involved in that GTS category.
Yeah, they brought the car out to Toronto, had some problems in that, didn't quite have the results they were looking for, and unfortunately looking for better here at Mid-Ohio, but you know, definitely wants to make this whole race. Lawson Aschenbach leads in our GTS category. Andy Lee in second, Dean Martin third, Alec Udell fourth, and Nick Johnson in fifth. Your top 5 in our GTS class.
So the cleanup's going to take another couple of laps here before we get ready to go green again at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Then is Mike Skeen behind the Cadillac safety car, the Audi R8 Ultra of the Hawk Performance team. Mike Skeen leads from the pole position. Johnny O'Connell, what a start that was from the pole position. And Johnny O'Connell's won 3 races out of the 10 already this season. Does lead the championship coming into this weekend by just over 100 points over Mike Skeen. So Mike Skeen wants to get as much daylight as he can between himself and that pursuing Cadillac in this race once we get back onto green flag racing.
Still see Rick Boucher down there on pit lane. The crew got that tire replaced. Not sure if there's still problems because he's stuck on pit lane. I don't see Rick out of the track. So we did see that tire kind of skewed and off to the back. So going to be 1 lap to go back to we're under green here. Still have 40 minutes remaining as of now. This is a 50-minute timed event. As soon as we get back underway, the Cadillac CTSV safety vehicle will get that cleared there. We really appreciate all they do. There's Robert Stout. Glad to see him walking around and see that he's okay. I know it's pretty heartbreaking for that Ken Stout Racing team. Lucas Oil supporting that car, and great to see them back. Hopefully they'll get that car fixed up for tomorrow. Yeah,
indeed, and they've had all sorts of dramas, and just nothing seems to go right for those guys, does it? But hopefully, as you say, tomorrow's another day, and they've got plenty of time now to get that car repaired again. Just really unfortunate for him, though. He was trying to make a move on the inside. Somebody else was already moving to avoid the car that was stricken in the middle of the racetrack, and Robert just got on the grass, and the car got away from him, and then it collected the wall. So hopefully the damage not too bad on that Scion FRS.
You talk about good starts. You got to look at Lawson Aschenbach. He's got Fred Roberts and I believe Peter Cunningham himself. Yeah, right there. You see Lawson Aschenbach back and forth in that Black Dog Speed Shop GTS Camaro between him and Andy Lee. So that's really going to benefit him on this rolling start.
Another of the reigning champions in Pirelli World Challenges, Lawson Aschenbach, driving that Black Dog Speed Stop Chevrolet, and they've been working really hard since after the race at Toronto. They've been struggling this season with the kind of the balance of performance. They've actually got a bit of a break since Toronto, running a slightly different restrictor. It's no larger, but it's a different restrictor on that engine that they've been running in the past, a flat plate restrictor now as opposed to the Sonic restrictor they had before, and that helps with the straight line speed apparently at the end of the straightaway. But also they've been really working hard on the suspension. They've taken that car to Multimatic's 4-post rig up in Toronto after the race a couple of weeks ago, learned a lot about the suspension and particularly about the spring rates of the new Pirelli tires that are being used this season in the championship, and they reckon they've got a much better feel now for really what that car needs to go fast. And Lawson Aschenbach, well, he's a talent.
Yeah, he sure is. There's a #1 on the side of that Black Dog Speed Shop Camaro, and that's for a reason. Through all 5 categories that were competing last year, 4 categories, whoever acquired the most points has the choice to choose to run #1 or not. And Lawson, of course, collected more points than any other class. Lights out, turn number 9 for the Cadillac CTSV Coupe Sedan and Wagon, but the Coupe is our official pace car, the fastest family of vehicles, those Cadillacs. I got a chance to drive one at Sonoma Raceway. I'll tell you what, if you want looking for a high performance street car, the Cadillac CTSV is one of those, and it's great to have them as our pace car and our official safety vehicle with that Cadillac Escalade. One of those things, it's better to have it and not need it than it is to need it and not have it.
Isn't that a fact? Just looking down the order here, we've got the Audi, then the Cadillac, and then the Porsche, then the McLaren, then the Ferrari, then an Audi, then another Cadillac, and then the Bentley of Butch Leitzinger, the Dyson Racing Breitling car, Mobile 1 entry in 8th place for the returning Butch Leitzinger.
Well, unfortunately not going green this time by. We had the ambulance was stuck on the track there, was not cleared yet to go back to his position. We'll have to do one quick pace car lap here just one more time. We'll get that ambulance back in position where they need to go. We've talked about this Mid-Ohio Sports Car course and how great the safety crews are to get the tracks cleaned up and get in positions. They have numerous positions around this course where they have an ambulance so they can be first response immediately on course. We just have to get that ambulance back in its position.
Won't be long now. There is the Black Dog Speed Shop Chevrolet coming through, as you say, with a couple of GT cars between himself and Andy Lee in 2nd place. That's going to be a battle there, and the Kias are lurking, as is good old Jack Baldwin in that Porsche Cayman as well. So it's going to be a tremendous battle. It's good to see the Astons fairly well up in that field as well. They've been struggling a little bit this season, haven't they, the Aston Martins? But Drew Regitz has been super fast as often as not. He's had no luck at all, but he did at least get through that carnage on the first lap.
Yeah, Nick Asayan started in the 12th position, had huge problems with that car. Back to a backup car, as a matter of fact, in his Aston Martin GT4. He's up to 11th in the GTS category. So kind of where he started, but looking for good things. He starts getting used to that car again.
There is our best starter, Jay Mattis, in at number 71 Porsche, the Texas speed car. Good to see him making his debut this weekend. He's got through cleanly as well, and coming down now through the S's, and it'll only be a matter of seconds before we get this race back underway. It'll be Mike Skeen who will lead overall from Johnny O'Connell, Ryan Dalziel, Alex Figge, and Anthony Lazzaro.
Well, Jeremy, how's it going to start here? I kind of got to believe that the Cadillac has to get it done now if he's going to make it over that Mike Skeen, especially early.
Yeah, it's up to Mike Skeen to make sure he gets a good run. The restart will be at the start-finish line rather than on the back straightaway, as for many of the races here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, but it's up to Johnny O'Connell to try and get a move. It's awfully difficult to make a move coming out of the carousels, that little kink to the left at the final corner as they come up to take the green flag.
They do have a starting zone that they have dignified by some orange cones, and you see those in the sand trap off to the right. So Mike Skeen's not allowed to go till he gets to somewhere in that zone, and he can choose when he wants to go. And we're back under green, and Ryan Dial onto the inside of Johnny O'Connell. Anthony Lazzaro on the inside of Alex Figge, right down to the inside. Andrew Palmer's going to try to follow him through, and he does.
And Ryan Dial did make that pass into second place, so Johnny O'Connell, not only was he not able to make a challenge for the lead, he actually lost second place as well.
And the battle's on back there in 8th between Andy Pilgrim and Butch Leitzinger. The Bentley on the outside of the Cadillac, not where you want to go around through the keyhole, Jeremy.
No, but you potentially could get a good run off the corner here. He doesn't have to pinch that car down on the exit. So can the Bentley get a run on the Cadillac? No, it can't. It is Andy Pilgrim who has the advantage coming on the back straight. But now Butch Leitzinger, he dives to the inside going through the kink, and he will have the inside line going down into turn 4.
Ryan Dial sticking his nose out on the inside of Mike Skeen into turn number 3. Not going to be able to hold. Now the battle for 7th is still on between Butch Leitzinger and Andy Pilgrim. Right to the edge of the track is Andy Pilgrim, tucked to the inside. This is two of the best gentleman drivers as far as respect to each other. Butch Leitzinger and Andy Pilgrim. James Safranis now ducks to the inside of Andy Pilgrim, and he's going to lose another position as James Safranis up to 8th.
Yeah, he's moving up well. So there's a lot of moving around here in the order in the early stages of this race. But once again, a great start there. Restart by Mike Skeen. He's pulled out 5 or 6 car lengths now over Ryan Dial in second place. And third place is still Johnny O'Connell.
And Andrew Palmer pressuring Anthony Lazzaro in that Remo Ferri Ferrari group, dealership group, of course, Ontario Ferrari, supporting that car with Anthony Lazzaro. Nick Mancuso, his teammates, not here this weekend. Andrew Palmer trying to get through that. Going back to our GTA leader, that's going to be Prince Albert von Thurnen Taxis in that Ryder Engineering Lamborghini Gallardo. He's leading in the GTA category, followed by Michael Mills in that Effort Racing Porsche GT3R, and Jim Taggart returning to the series for Pirelli World Challenge. It's the first time he's debuted that Porsche at the St. Petersburg round. He's in 3rd in our GTA category, 12th overall. Looking back at our GTS leader, there's Lawson Aschenbach, Peter Cunningham in the debut of that beautiful Acura TLX, getting around Lawson Aschenbach for that position. It's not really a position, GT car versus GTS. Fred Robertson, the Direct Energy Dodge Viper, still back there, and Andy Lee in 2nd in GTS.
Yeah, but certainly Lawson Aschenbach taking the advantage of the fact he had a couple of GT cars between himself and the second place car in GTS, but now Fred Roberts in that Viper goes past him down the back straightaway. Is that going to hold up Lawson Aschenbach through the corners? I know Lawson, he'll want to get back past that Viper if he possibly can. He's going to look down to the inside, not quite close enough.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance here. You don't want to battle with him too much and affect your race, but you can't let him hold up. Andy Lee, Dean Martin, Nick Johnson, these guys are coming. Alec Udell, watch out for that young 18-year-old there in that Watson Racing Motorsports Development Group Mustang. But look at Johnny O'Connell back on the bumper of Ryan Dial coming down the front stretch. Mike Skeen about a 2-car length lead, 3-car length lead over Johnny O'Connell. About a second slower in the qualifying session, but that traction control and launch control that Cadillac Racing has developed for these cars lets Johnny come up there and race for this overall lead.
It does, and a little bit of a gap back now to Anthony Lazzaro in 4th place. Once again, it's the McLarens. They've just made a poor start to this race. They both qualified well. Alex Figge qualified 2nd on the grid, and Robert Thorne, his teammate, in 3rd. No sign of Robert Thorne. I don't know where he slipped back to in the field. We were hearing he had some brake difficulties on the first lap, so he is, if in the race, at the back. But Alex Figge, he got jumped on that restart and lost another couple of positions. So the number 9 McLaren is back now in 6th place.
Looks like Jeff Courtney there in that Kenda RecStuff.com Audi R8 LMS was off the exit, driver's left to turn 1. He got back underway, no problem there.
There is Mike Skeen there. You can see Ryan Dial there, certainly not losing any ground to Mike Skeen. Looks like the gap between these 3 at the front of the field pretty much stagnant over the last couple of laps since the restart. And Ryan Dial, boy, it's just his 3rd start in a Pirelli World Challenge. He made his debut at St. Petersburg last year, driving also then a Porsche GT3 entry for True Speed competition. He actually won that race, didn't he? And afterwards, he was pinged for a slight technical infraction and thrown out of the race. But it was a great debut in the Pirelli World Challenge by Ryan Dial. And now, this weekend, got the opportunity to drive the car that was driven to victory a couple of weeks ago by Nick Tandy in Toronto. Nick Tandy not available this weekend, and Ryan Dial showing he's a very, very fine substitute indeed.
Boy, Andy Lee's closed that gap between Lass and Ascherbach. The two Camaros going at it for the lead. That Crown 7 Best IT Bob Bondurant Camaro was at Pratt & Miller a little bit earlier. Car kind of got massaged a little bit and gone through up there. It was great for that team. That car was built by the guys at Bob Bondurant Driving School. Boy, Andy Lee way off to the side of the dirt there in turn number 1. So to get that technology and the engineering from Pratt & Miller on his car, it's paying dividends now. Second place in GTS. Battle for third in GTS between Dean Martin and Alec Udell, those two Mustangs, the Pitcher Cars East for Hegan Racing of Dean Martin and that Watson Racing Motorsports Development Group Mustang of Alec Udell, third and fourth.
Now, it is quite a battle going on there, certainly between those two. And the battle was all the way up and down the field. There is our GTA car, the blue and yellow car, the Swedish flag adorning that car, the Dragon Speed Ferrari of Henrik Hedman. We saw him spin right at the beginning of this race. Now he is trying to work his way back up through the pack.
Yeah, has Robert Thorne right behind him in that K-Pax Racing McLaren MP4 12C, trying to work through this GTS field to get back up to the leaders in the GT category. And Robert Thorne started in fourth. Not sure what happened to him to drop him back through that field. Not what we like to see there from that K-Pax McLaren MP4 12C. No,
that car was quick in the practice here and in qualifying as well. Both the McLarens on the second row, first and second row grid, second and third fastest for Alex Figge and Robert Thorne, but it's not been that sort of a race for them yet, but there's still a long way to go. Almost half an hour remaining in this race.
Mike Skeen continuing to lead in that Hawk Performance Audi R8 LMS. Ryan Dial, the Effort Racing Porsche GT3R, nicknamed Phoenix on that Porsche, as Tim Bergmeister drove this car at the beginning of the year, had a schedule conflict at the last round. Nick Tandy stepped into that car. He was racing Super GT in Europe. This is the car that Tim Bergmeister actually crashed. I believe it was at Motegi, or no, Suzuka, and almost took his life. He said the car saved his life that Porsche built, so he was happy for that. This is the same car rebuilt, same VIN number, same tub. All the components have been changed, of course, but now we've got 3 drivers in it this year, and great success, just adding to that data of having Nick Tandy, Ryan Dial, Tim Bergmeister that developed the Porsche GT3R. Can't wait to see Tim Bergmeister behind the wheel.
Case of axes and handles, I think, on that replacing the Porsche, because there was nothing left of that car when Tim crashed it in Japan. But what a good run here by Ryan Diel. He's maintaining that pressure. There's probably 8 or 10 car lengths between the race leader Mike Skeen in the Audi and the second place Porsche of Ryan Diel. But Johnny O'Connell now slipping back a little bit in third place.
Yeah, falling back as these GT3 cars start getting up into temperature. The tires start coming in, these Pirelli P0 tires in these GT3 cars. They do run the Pirelli compound in the FIA GT3 spec. Unfortunately, this is a different tire compound here in the Pirelli World Challenge. It takes a little while for these cars to come up to temperature on that. A lot of the teams have learned how to set their car up to come in a little bit earlier, and that's taken the advantage that the GT3 cars, or that the Cadillacs have had over the GT3 cars away, and we see that now with Audi and Porsche 1-2.
And the smooth surfaces here also at Mid-Ohio Sports Car cars. That's kind of playing into the hand of the FIA spec GT3 cars, because they were all developed in Europe on very similar tracks such as this. On some of the street circuits, that's a bit more of a challenge for the GT3 cars. That's where the World Challenge spec cars such as that Cadillac really are able to shine. But here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car course, it's a proper racetrack, and we can see the Audi there running out front with Mike Skeen, and that Porsche, been around a long time as that Porsche design, but it just gets better and better and better in there in second place.
The Shadow Works Bob Bondurant Chevy Camaro. Jeff Reeves there spins on the entrance of turn number 9. Drivers left. Looked like he was rolling, get back underway and get cleared as soon as there's a gap. The great SCCA course worker and volunteers here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car. Anthony Nazaro way off to the right side, over the bumps, try to keep it straight. Big time driving job there through the grass as Lazaro in that Ferrari of Ontario. Remo Ferry Group 458 Italia, but the problem now is you saw the front grille of that Ferrari completely packed full of grass. He might have to come into the pits if he starts overheating on that Ferrari, Jeremy.
Yeah, exactly right. That's going to be the high-speed lawnmower. They're a very expensive lawnmower too in that Ferrari GT3 Italia.
Get word now that from race control, they just alerted all the drivers getting surface reports of light rain in turn number 1. Wonder if that had to affect from Anthony Nazaro. The outcome of this race could change. Weather is in the forecast, about a 70% chance at noon today, and we're well past that.
Yeah, and on the grid there was a huge dark cloud looming, wasn't there, off to the west here, and it's certainly moving this direction but not yet wet. We saw yesterday, there was an F2000, US F2000 race yesterday, and Austin Cindric, who will drive that number 55 Mustang tomorrow, he was mighty in the wet until he crashed. But he was really making up a lot of ground, and he loved these conditions. Very difficult conditions here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Cars, because once it get a little bit of precipitation, the track becomes very slippery. But you know, they've got plenty of heat in these Pirelli tyres now, so unless it's real deluge, should be just fine.
Jeff Courtney spins in turn number 1 again in that Kenda Rec Stuff Audi R8. Having a hard time through there. We did get surface flags there that say there was rain. The headlights are on Mike Skeen's car. Ryan Dial in that Effort Racing Porsche GT3R, by the way, is about 0.2 of a second quicker than Mike Skeen, so he's starting to run him down as there's more incidents there. We have one of the McLarens that has spun as well. Jeff Courtney gets through. Alex Lloyd trying there.
Yeah,
that is Alex Figge, I believe, in the number 9 K-Pax McLaren MP4. He gets cleared now. Got to watch out for that grass as the front splitter there. It's slick over there if it is raining. Got to get him clear. He's going to drop back to the tail end of our GTS field. His teammate coming through right now, Robert Thorne.
Yeah, so Alex Figge there, he did pretty much the same thing Anthony Nazaro did one lap earlier, but with the one exception that Anthony was able to just about keep that car pointing in the straight line, a big detour through the grass. Not so lucky for Alex Figge there, does a big spin and loses a lot of time.
You got to think that is due to track conditions. We do have a track condition. You can look at the clouds up in the sky there. If you look at that banner that we have on top with the leaders, you can see where that is. And here's the battle in our GTS category. Looks like Dean Martin falling back. It is Lawson Aschenbach, Andy Lee. Looking at our order here of our official app, the Race Monitor app, if you want to watch live timing. But Alec Udell up to 3rd, Nick Janssen 4th, Dean Martin back to 5th.
Yes, indeed, and the second Kia of Mark Wilkins there, who is the points leader in GTS coming into this weekend, holds a 63-point advantage over Dean Martin in that Ford Mustang.
Just saw Jack Roush in that number 60 Ford Mustang Boss 302. Here's a replay of Anthony Nazaro running wide in turn number 1. Let's see how much air this Ferrari 458 GT3 Italia does. I saw daylight underneath the both of those, but what a great driving job from Anthony Nazaro. How about that? You see the Bentley getting loose there. Oh, James Safranis, big tank slapper. Andy Pilgrim avoids him, but definitely slick through there. And we saw the windshield wipers on Jack Roush's car coming down into turn number 3. There is water on this surface.
There is indeed. It's really treacherous out there. It's still not raining. Certainly isn't raining hard, but it's making a challenge for these drivers. And you can see some of the battles here farther way down. That's on the left there, the Hawk Chevrolet Corvette. That's Alex Lloyd, who is a former champion in Indy Lights. He was a Rookie of the Year in the IndyCar, and he drives the IndyCar Series in 2010. But that was the last time he'd raced anything regularly. And for Alex Lloyd here, he's thoroughly enjoying this opportunity to drive the CRP Racing Chevrolet Corvette that Mike Skeen drove with some success last year. And he's absolutely having a blast out there, is Alex Lloyd.
That's your battle with Alex Lloyd right behind them in the leaders in our GTA category. Michael Mills got around Prince Albert von Thurnen Taxis, and Jim Taggart, his Absolute Vodka Porsche 911 GT3R, is right behind him, ready to pounce. As lap traffic now for our GT cars, there's around Jorge De La Torre. We're getting word to have the safety car, please stand by right now, so there must be something on this course right now if they wanted to slow the field down because of the changing track conditions. And there's Dean Martin sliding through China Beach hard into the tire wall. Slid for a long way, and I got to think he's backing up. So we're going full course yellow now. Full course yellow. Let's get these cars through. Dean Martin able to keep going. Sliding through the grasses. Dean Martin in that Rahegan Racing Picture Cars East. This is the man that's 2nd place in this Drivers' Championship. Looks like just knocked the skirt off and dinged the door in a little bit, but no problem there. We have a car way off in the dirt. Not sure who that is.
You can't see who it is, Jeff?
China Beach down into turn number 3. And once the dust clears, we'll be able to tell you who's buried there into the tire wall and the sand at China Beach, the nickname for here. There's Jack Roush, and it looks like, was that Jack Baldwin? It is. Jack Baldwin, as there's another car there. As, oh no, up over as Jorge De La Torre and Drew Riggins and the 2 Aston Martins down in the tire wall into turn number 3 as you see the rain coming down heavily now.
Yeah, it's raining pretty hard there now, and when drivers of this sort of, some of these guys, really experienced drivers, make mistakes. You know, for the relative rookies like Jorge De La Torre and Drew Riggins, you know, it's very easy to get caught out in these conditions. But It has to be said that full course caution has been out for quite a while, so you know, they shouldn't have been pushing that hard when they know that the caution's out there for a very good reason.
Yeah, he hit that wall a ton up on the nose of that car next to his teammate. I think some of that rear end damage to Drew Riggett's car was from Jorge de la Torre. But yeah, you see them moving, which is good, but we don't want to get out of that car yet. Let's wait till the whole field gets behind the safety car before you start getting out of this car.
Yeah, so we have 17 laps are completed here. We've got 20 minutes to go in this 50-minute race, and the Mike Skeen still leads for the CRP Audi team, the Hawk Performance Audi. Ryan Dialli in second place for Porsche. Johnny O'Connell still runs in third place for Cadillac. Andrew Palmer now taking advantage of those various dramas to move up into fourth place in number 21 GMG Audi. In fifth place, Anthony Lazaro after a big off-course excursion in turn one. Now you can see, if you can see this picture here, how hard it's raining out on the racetrack now.
Yeah, it sure is. You take the focus off of Jack Baldwin's car, you can see the rain come down. I think Jack's simply just stuck in the sand and waiting to get it towed out so he can get pulled away. Not sure where he's at in that number 73 Reset MD Motul Stop Tech, our presenting sponsor here this weekend. It's longtime supporter Jack Baldwin and that GT Sport team. And
terrible news for Jack in terms of his championship challenge as well, because if he doesn't get to the end of this race, he'll take another hit in the points. He's already had 2 DNFs this season, did not finish his, and that has cost him dearly. He's still in fourth place in the points. It is Mark Wilkins who leads in the Kia in the championship points coming into this weekend. Dean Martin, you talked about him a while ago, second place in the points. Nick Johnson in the second of the Kias in third place in championship points. Jack Baldwin fourth, and Jack Rouse Jr. in fifth coming to this weekend. Lawson Aschenbach, who's led this race all the way through, is sixth in the points coming into Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, now the strategy becomes, Jeremy, do you pit for rains? 18 minutes, you see the clock up top now. By the time we get back under green, we should be down to maybe about 10 minutes here. Drew Riggett's crawling out of the car. Great to see him get out of that racers group. Aston Martin Racing Vantage GT4. Jorge de la Torre, we saw the window net down on his car already. Great to see him out of the car. Looks like they got that door open and he'll be crawling out soon. Just kind of surveying the damage. They'll put him into the safety vehicle, take him to the infield care center and get checked out. But great to see. Doesn't look like there's any problems there with those cars, and the safety crew already getting ready to hook the ropes up to get these cars moved. Yeah, but certainly that TRG AMR team is going to have a lot of work overnight to do to get those cars back out in the fray for tomorrow's race. Well, if anybody can do it, Kevin Buckler's team can do. 4 cars prepped here this weekend. 3 made the race with Nick Assayan, Jorge de la Torre, and Drew Riggetts, but we've lost 2 of those Aston Martins. We'll see both of those cars tomorrow, I guarantee it. That's what Kevin Buckler's TRG team does, and they'll be on the grid here tomorrow. It's awfully dark here now. I mean, the skies just closed right in as this rain was approaching. We thought it might miss us, unfortunately not. So we're still under full course. There's Jorge de la Torre. He's clearly winded after that heavy impact with the tire barrier there down at the end of the main straightaway here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. It's good to see him. He is under his own power, walking away. We'll get these cars removed, we'll catch our breath, give you a complete rundown here. We're going to take a quick break on our worldwide web stream at worldchallengetv.com. We'll be right back. All right, and welcome back as we get a replay here of Jorge de la Torre up on the nose of that Aston Martin, comes down right next to his teammate, Drew Riggetts in the Racers Group, Aston Martin Racing Vantage GT4, and boy, look at the... There's another dollar to the boy jar. Look at the rain coming down here. Jack Baldwin, we thought he was stuck in the sand. That's not the case. Major damage to the right rear of that Porsche Cayman. Indeed so. You can see how heavily it's raining now. So this is a big challenge now for the teams. There's 15 minutes to go in this race. There's various options over here. They could have even red flagged the race to let everybody change over to dry weather tires, because it's going to take a while now. There's so many cars off the racetrack. Jeff, so it's going to take them a while to sweep up those cars. They've only got so many wrecking crews here that can pull those cars out of harm's way. We just got word that Jack Rouse Jr. did come on pit lane, changed 4 tires, but now has a loose wheel on his car, so that's a strategy that's not going to play out. The Pirelli World Challenge teams, because of the limited pit road here and officials to kind of make sure that everybody's safe, it's really hard to red flag, come in, let everybody change terrains and go. They sort of kind of leave it to the team. As there's Andy Lee backed into the wall, spun off. He is on slicks. That's second place in the GTS category. We'll see if he lost any positions, but that could be huge for this race. Whoops. And Joey Atterbury sliding off as well, just off to driver's left. He comes into the Pirelli World Challenge. You see everybody, it looks like they're just out to the outside there, taking that rain line. Yeah,
conditions absolutely treacherous right now. Of course, we are still under the safety car here, and no word yet as to whether we're going to go back to green flag conditions. Just less than 14 minutes remaining in this 50-minute race, so there's certainly time to get everything underway. But it's a tough call for the teams. We talked about it already. Do you come in and change tires? Do you hope the officials will show the red flag? There's a bunch of scenarios, and if we don't go back to green flag racing, then you kind of might as well stay out there on the slicks and just sort of get around as best you can. But it is so wet now, and as we can see, even under vastly reduced speeds, it's very, very difficult to keep these cars on the racetrack.
Yeah, Brian Kleeman running off there. He pitted for rain tires. Didn't do him much
He's
good
on rain
there.
tires, huh?
Down to turn number 5. Didn't do much good, but he did pit for rain tires on the report. Trying to see if we have reports on who else is on rains, but right there at the top of madness. Wow. Great fans here at Mid-Ohio. Look at that. Nobody ducks for cover. They just put the umbrella up. We don't care. We're watching some great Pirelli World Challenge racing.
Or should be, could be. There's Larry Funk there coming through in the BMW, another local driver. I think he probably made a pit stop as well. He comes through well after the rest of the field, and good to see him back in this championship as well. Yeah,
he sure is. Here's a replay of Andy Lee trying to get over to that rain line. Just went a little bit too much all the way. Just sort of backs it in there, gives him a good push so he can get through the sand trap. Grabs the gear, drops the clutch, goes through. Here's replay of Dean Martin's incident, shotting down through China Beach in turn number 3. You see Dean kind of flick it to the right there. You see the tires sliding, try to hit it sideways versus nosing it in or backing it in. Even sliding through that, doing a great driving job through the sand, Jeremy.
Yeah, he's been watching some rallycross, I think, hasn't he, to try and get that car back out on the racetrack. And there is Jack Baldwin. I mean, there's nobody in this field with more experience in any sort of racing than Jack Baldwin, and even he makes a mistake. So that shows you, I think, how treacherous the conditions were.
And interesting, I just saw that the tire of Drew Riggis, that right front wheel and combo, Jorge actually drove over that, and that got that car up in the air as teams are on pit lane changing to those rain tires. Some of these teams, you saw the Kias down there. We saw James Safranis, Andrew Palmer, Mark Wilkins onto rains. Side by side, 5 lugs. It's not like the single nuts like the FIA GT3 cars have, so a little bit more time to do this, but you have to make it worth it.
So, I'm a little bit surprised they haven't red flagged this and given everybody an opportunity to change the tires and get back again, because these pit stops are not part of Pirelli World Challenge on a regular basis, so the teams aren't geared up to make fast pit stops. And with the conditions as they are, and with the fact that we know there's going to be an extended caution because of all those cars off the road, I wonder whether it might have been better to throw the red flag here, but we are continuing, and there goes one of the Kia Optimists to rejoin the fray. But he lost a lot of ground, but we're showing 11 minutes to go in this race.
Biggest thing you got to watch out for here now is about an inch of standing water, because the front splitters on these FIA GT3 cars sit right at 1 inch. If they are, it's going to be they just skip right off the track. There's no land. But we're watching the radar there. You see the dot right where we are to the right, the little black dot, and you see what's coming. So we still haven't got the brunt of it yet as it's coming right at us. We're getting the first initial rainfall.
Yeah, there's conditions out there now really, really, really ugly. It's so difficult for the teams, and it's a big storm coming through here. We've had a lot of rain now over the last 10-15 minutes on this racetrack, and the drivers are, even those on wet tires, having difficulty staying on the racetrack. So those on dries, man, it's a tall ask.
The
ambulance truck sliding around there, look.
Yeah. There's our Cadillac's Escalade. Looks like they are going to red flag this race. We're going to go down on pit straight.
They don't have any choice at this stage. A great shame, and for the teams that have stayed out, they might benefit from this. But this is, I think the officials had absolutely no option now but to cause that red flag. As you can see there, they're out of the final corner, turn 13 here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car. Of course, there's a river runs across the road there, because there's higher ground to the, if you're looking at the screen, there's higher ground to the right of our screen. It flows all the way across the racetrack there, and there's a river, got to be a couple of inches deep.
Yeah, we'll try to see if this storm is going to pass. The clock has stopped with the red flag. Once we get the field stopped, the clock will stop. About 9 minutes remaining, 10 minutes left in here. Good for about 3 to 4 laps if we're able to get back under green. Well, yeah. Time is of the essence here. We are on a tight schedule, a lot of different series racing here this weekend, so they'll try to find some space, but red flag right now, and for the fans and everybody watching worldwide at worldchallengetv.com with our coverage presented by Cadillac on the live web stream, the last thing we want to do is end this under a red flag.
Right. This is very, very difficult here now for everybody because, of course, the cars are lined up now under red flag conditions on the front straightaway. They're still on slick tires, so they haven't had an opportunity to change, and nor are they going to have an opportunity because they're out on the racetrack rather than on the pit lane.
And not sure if we had some of our GT competitors come in the pits lane, but looking at our race monitor app for live timing, we have Mike Skeen listed in third now, Ryan DL as our leader, Johnny O'Connell in second, Lazaro up to fourth, Palmer fifth, Safranis sixth, Pilgrim seventh. So I have to kind of see how this plays out with the timing and scoring and where the cars are parked on the line.
I can't see. Was Mike Skeen's car on the tucked in behind the Cadillac perhaps? I didn't see it in that picture. It could have been hidden behind the Cadillac, I guess, unless otherwise he's brought the car onto the pit lane. But
really,
it's
really you can see just
a
how
lot of
much water is on this track. I mean, the Pirelli P0 Reigns, they pump something like 30 to 50 gallons per minute of water, so they do a great job of getting the water off the track and under these tires. But in this torrential, basically monsoon Midwest downpour, there's nothing I don't think any tire can do, let alone Pirelli, as great as they are.
No, I don't think anything anybody could do in these sort of conditions, but it's so disappointing for the drivers because they're all geared up for the start of the race, the teams as well, and of course all the fans. There's a good crowd here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
This Pirelli World Challenge broadcast.
Always a great atmosphere here, and one of the most knowledgeable crowds at any racetrack we go to in the country.
Yeah, some great shots here too. We really want to thank so much to our coverage and the producers for getting these. We got the satellite. We're still watching the rain coming down with the cars stopped on the front stretch under red flag conditions. The clock is still running, so I'm not sure if we're going to run this out or if we're able to keep going. We'll get a word on that, but we'll try to see what happens with the teams that are on pit lane. Now, I've been told that even Ryan Dial is on pit lane.
Yeah, I can't
Johnny
see
O'Connell, I believe that's Johnny O'Connell.
Yeah.
That's right behind the pace car, so due to luck, we'll have to see how this plays out, but Johnny O'Connell could be our race leader here, and that would be huge.
Yeah, it depends whether we go back to green flag conditions. I mean, I can't imagine at this stage in the game because it's raining so hard now. We've got half of the cars on slick tires, half of them on wets, half of them in the pits, half of them on the racetrack. So how you get around settling the order again before we get back to green is going to be really, really difficult. I think that might take more than the 6 minutes that are remaining on the clock right now, and it is a time certain schedule here with this weekend. There's so much activity this weekend. The Verizon IndyCar Series is here, all the Mazda Road to Indy here as well as the World Challenge, and boy, there's just a lot of activity to get in this weekend, so it's going to be awfully difficult now for anybody to do anything about this red flag and get back to racing.
Looking at our GTS class, it's still Lawson Aschenbach, Alec Udell in second, Nick Johnson in third, what we have. And if you're looking at what I see, if you want to go to your iPhone or Android phone and download the Race Monitor app, it is a live timing. You can find our live timing and scoring at world-challenge.com, the live Twitter feed. We just got word to turn off the engines, of course, sitting here for this length of time with these GT cars, GTS cars, no air going through those radiators, the chancing of overheating these motors, you don't want to have that happen. So they are command to turn those engines off. No work is allowed on the cars on pit lane, so if you did come on pit lane before the red flag call and trying to change over to those range, you have to stop working on it. I've seen it happen before in other series, Jeremy, where when there is a red flag called, something like that, and people were ducking, there's some confusion, they revert to the lap prior. So wherever it was before the conditions got bad or when they called the yellow, that will determine they revert back to that lap.
Yeah, there's a lot of decisions to be made here over the next several minutes, that's for certain. But we just can go on either what we can see on our monitor or on the scoring that we're being shown. That is shown as Ryan DL as in the lead of the race. We can't see him on the racetrack, but he is shown in the lead last time around. Johnny O'Connell is shown in second place. Mike Skeen third. Anthony Lazzari, well, he was running fourth before all these dramas. I think Andrew Palmer is in there, James Safronis, Andy Pilgrim. Michael Mills, the best place of the GTA cars, is shown in 8th place. And right behind him, Jim Taggart making a return to the GTA field this weekend. Albert von Thurm und Taxis rounding out the top 10. Alex Lloyd, a solid run by him to get himself up in the top 11, but I'd say these positions very much provisional. Butch Leitzinger, he'd been running in a top 6 before we had the stoppage, and You can see his car is out on the racetrack there, so quite frankly, the race order is anything very much up in the air. They're going to show the checkers, we are hearing.
Yeah, hearing that the checkered flag will be thrown, the race is done. Unfortunately, with this time-sensitive schedule, we're not able to get back underway. Not sure what that means yet, folks. Please stick around to worldchallengetv.com. As soon as we get an update on what your standing order is and your finishing order, we will let you know. I'm going to head over to Victory Circle. Jeremy, you'll close out our web stream show. We'll get to interviews for our NBC broadcast. Once again, tune in to NBC Sportsnet August 10th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks very much indeed, Jeff and Fred. We're going to get rather wet out here. We're not going to have any. I'm not even going to have the scoring here, am I? So we'll just sort of kill a bit of time here while Jeff gets extremely wet out there. Sorry about that. There's officials pace car is pulling off into the pit lane, and they will get ready now to hold the victory celebrations. It'll certainly be a very damp squib down there in Victory Lane. But what a shame for everybody here this weekend for the first race. We've had this problem earlier in the season, of course, the beginning of the championship at the St. Petersburg street course. We had the same problems there. We had a heavy deluge, and one of the races didn't take place at all that weekend. That will be made up later in the year at Miller Motorsports Park in Utah. But at least we've got most of this race in. It will be an official race because certainly we ran more than 50% distance before we had any sort of dramas, before the rain really hit. So there will be an official result. We're just not quite sure what that result will be, because that will take some fishing around quite literally by the officials to determine what the final finishing order will be. But it was a great start to the race by Mike Skeen. He started that car from the pole position. It was his third pole for the CRP Racing Hawk Performance Audi in the last 4 races. And Mike Skeen has really come on strong. He started off the season at St. Petersburg with the Nissan GTR for CRP Racing, and then switched to the Audi for the second round at Long Beach, a quick turnaround for that car. And since then, it's taken Mike Skeen and that team very little time to get that car up to speed. We're going to have a look here at least of the unofficial results as they were showing as the red flag came out. In GT and overall, therefore, the provisional race winner will be car number 31, Ryan DL. That's the Effort Racing Porsche GT3R. He is shown as our winner. It's his third start only ever in the Pirelli World Challenge. 2 races last year. It's his debut in the Pirelli World Challenge this season. His first time with Effort Racing, and perhaps ultimately coming away with a victory. He'll be thrilled with that. Johnny O'Connell came into the weekend as the championship leader, shown now in second place. He's certainly been running up the front all the way through this race. Mike Skeen is shown in third, upholsterer, led the majority of the proceedings, but right now shown in third place. Anthony Lazzaro in the R Ferry Racing Ferrari, car number 61. We saw him off the road at a big off-course excursion in turn 1, and he is in 4th place. Andrew Palmer, car number 21, the GMG Audi, shown in 5th. James Sophonis, his teammate, car number 40, in 6th. Andy Pilgrim, the second of the Cadillac Racing CTSVs, in 7th place, ahead of our GTA race winner, we believe, Michael Mills, in the second of the Effort Racing cars, the Porsche, car number 41. Jim Taggart, fine run by the veteran, in car number 7, again a Porsche, in the second in the GTA cars, and rounding out the top 10 overall, third in GTA, Albert von Thurn und Taxis in the Lamborghini Gallardo. So those are our unofficial results in GT. In GTS, Lawson Aschenbach is shown as the winner. He's been the man to beat all weekend in that Black Dog Speed Shop Chevrolet Camaro. He is shown in the lead ahead of Alec Udell in car number 17, the Mustang. The Kia Optimus, that was a big clap of thunder. Kia Optimus, 3rd and 4th, car number 36, Nick Johnson, followed by car number 38, Mark Wilkins. Joey Atterbury making his debut in the series this weekend in car number 33, the Capaldi Racing Ford Mustang, 5th place. 6th for Tony Gaples, and farther down from there. So it looks like our race is going to be brought to a conclusion, and we will wrap it up here. My name is Jeremy Shaw. Jeff Lepper is going to get extremely wet. I'm going to wait a few minutes here and stay in a dry bit. But thanks for joining us on worldchallengetv.com, and we will be back here for the next race tomorrow. Do not miss it. We will look forward to seeing you then.